Hi children, very good morning. So, welcome to our EVS class. Today, we are going to deal with solid, liquid and gaseous of our 5th lesson water. So, in our previous class, we have learned about how the three forms of solid, liquid and water. The three forms of water, solid, liquid and gaseous. So, liquid is in directly water and solid is of ice pieces and gaseous is of when we heat the water, it is called as gaseous form of water. Right. Now, we are going to see what is solid, what is liquid and what is gaseous. So, you know what is solid. What is meant by solid? So, which is very hard, like book, this is called solid. This is called solid. The things which we helpful to hold are called as solid. Like book, table, chair, bottle, all these are called as solids. So we know what is meant by solid means which is little bit hard is known as solid. See how this book is this is easy to hold, so it is called hard solid, and this bottle is easy to hold, this is in solid form. So, now what comes to the liquid form? So, we know what is meant by solid, which is very hard and which is able to hold. So, that is called as solid. Now comes to liquid. What is meant by liquid form? So, which we cannot, liquids does not have any kind of shape. For example, see, water. So, and we cannot hold them also. So, we cannot hold. See, I want to hold this water. Water is in liquid form. So, can I hold this? So, slowly it is coming down. Can you see? I can't hold it tightly. But whereas the bottle, can I hold it tightly? Yes. But I cannot hold the water tightly. Like water, milk, oil, they are all called as liquids. So, such called which cannot be held and which doesn't have any shape are called as liquids. And next one is gaseous. Gaseous is the air present around us is called as gaseous. Gaseous form. See, I showed you in the previous class when water starts evaporating, one foam like it will come, that is called as gaseous. So, gaseous form is around the air. So, we cannot see the gaseous form. So, it is available in the air. So, now we will see more about the things. Now, we learned about solid, liquid and gaseous. So, solid means which are hard and able to hold. Liquids means we cannot hold them, and gaseous are around the air. Gas forms are around the air. Now, come to the solid forms. So, these solids, they have the shape of their whole. They have the shape of their whole. Suppose, what is the shape of the book? Some rectangular shape it is having. Understood? Suppose come to the shape of this glass. So, it is having some cylindrical shape. Whereas the bottle, it is also having its own shape. All the solids will have their own shape. Understood children? Every solid, suppose a book or a pen or a pencil, everything it is having its own shape. All the solids are having its own shape. But, suppose a ball or a book or a pen, everything is having its own shape. Whereas when we are coming to liquid, they doesn't have the shape. Suppose, what is the shape of this water in the bottle? Can anybody tell what is the shape of the water in this bottle, children? No, water is not having any kind of shape. Then how can you say the shape of the water? The water, the liquid forms take the shape of the container. So, I poured the water, this water in the bottle, in this bottle. So, the water is taking the shape of this container. If I pour the water in a big bowl, so it takes the shape of the bowl. If I pour the water in this glass, it takes the shape of this glass. So, even in milk also or oil or anything. So, whatever container we are pouring them, they take the shape of the particular object. So, liquids are not having any kind of shape. Understood children about liquid form and solid form? solids are having the shape of their own, but whereas the liquids are not having the shape of their own. Understood, my dears? Now come to the gaseous form. Suppose take a balloon. The balloon will be in the normal condition or a ball. So start blowing it. What happens? What you are blowing in the balloon? Right, you are filling the air in the balloon. That is called as gas. You are filling some gas in the balloon. So it starts blowing. So if you fill the gas in a balloon, so the balloon will hold some shape. The balloon will hold some shape. So this shape or some small shape or big shape, it holds certain shape. If you fill the gaseous form in the ball will become according to round or square according to that. The ball will take its shape. Suppose you see the cycle tires and all will fill the air. So what happens? The tire, if you fill in air, it will start bubbles. Even though like liquid, the gaseous is also not having its own shape. It is taking the shape of the particular container. Clear, children? So if we blow air in the balloon will take its shape. Even the ball, it will take its round shape. Here oval shape it is taking, here round shape it is taking. If you fill it in the air, it will also take some circular shape or oval shape. So in the same way, the tides and the gaseous form is also not having particular shape. Even the liquid is also not having particular shape. So can you observe here? Water. See, if it is poured in this container, here it is poured in this container, here it is poured in this container. So it is taking the shape of the container, but water is not having particular shape here. Whereas if you observe in this picture, these are all having particular shape, whether square or rectangle or something shape they are having. Now whereas come to here it is taking the shape of the balloon. So here it is having some oval shape. Understood, children, about gaseous? Gaseous also do not have the shape. It takes the shape of the container, some object. Understood, children? Now we are going to see about water changes in the nature. Suppose when we see in the mountains, very big high mountains are covered with ice. Very big mountains are covered with ice. See. Very big mountains like Himalayas are covered with ice. So this ice, when the sun rays fall on the ice, what happens? If you keep an ice piece, if you take the ice piece outside from the fridge and if you keep it outside, what happens? Will it stay as usual in the solid form, children? No. It starts melting. So in the same way, when the sun's heat falls on the ice on the Himalayas, on the mountains, it starts melting into water. And that water flows into the rivers. That water flows into the rivers. So you can see in this picture, here ice slowly it is starting and melting into the rivers. So in the same way, when you keep ice water and if you pour in the fridge and if you keep, what happens? It will become into ice. The same ice piece if you take out, it will become into water. So what happens? So it comes into the lakes, rivers, and in the same way. So what happens when you leave the balloon above? The balloon is very light. So if you leave the balloon, what happens? It raises up and up and up high. So as the balloon is very light, it moves up and high. Very high. In the same way, the water which is evaporated here, it goes the water vapor. So the gaseous form of the water reaches up and up to the sky. Slowly the water starts evaporating. So when the water starts evaporating, so the water starts into the water drops join together and starts to become as a cloud. So all this water from the lakes and the rivers, they evaporate in the form of water vapor and they start to form as clouds. So as the clouds are very light, they start to float in the sky. So when the balloon it starts to float in the sky, in the same way the water also the water vapor clouds also, the water vapor forms into clouds as they are very light. They starts to float. They are tiny drops of the water. So see here, the water is evaporated by the sun, and again it is going to form as clouds. So clouds are very light, so they float in the sky. So what happens? So slowly these water drops, small water drops are making and changing into clouds, small water drops. So as the cloud drops, see, suppose if you put a small rock on my hand, I can bear it, yes or not? If you put a little big rock, okay, I can hold it. Little big rock, can I hold it? What I will do? I will lift. In the same way, when the clouds become heavy with more water, then the clouds release their water as a form of rain. So understood, children? So this is a form of water cycle. So here the water is coming to here, from the ice to here, then again it is starting here, from it is going here, and again it is falling in the same river as a water droplets. So in the same way, see, again it is falling as a rain. Understood, children? So sometimes what happen? The air is mixed with these tiny drops of water, no? So it becomes very cool. So when the water becomes very cool, then along with the rain, hailstones fall. Hailstones, do you know what is meant by hailstones? Ice. We say Vadagallavana in Telugu. So ice form, the rain will fall in the form of ice. The rain will fall in the form of ice. Understood, children? This is called as water cycle. So here the ice is melting, and here again it is coming down to the rivers, and from the river it is evaporated by the sun's heat again, and it is forming as clouds, and clouds again they are giving as a rain. All these drops of water again they are falling as a rain. If the water is very cool, so some areas we see today there it is a ice rain we have seen. So there is a how it will form because when the air is very cool, it changes into form of ice water, right? Understood? Hailstone. It is called as hailstone. It is called as hailstone. Understood, my dears? So water is having of three forms: solid, liquid and gaseous. Solid has its own shape, but liquid and gaseous does not have its own shapes. They take the shape of the container. So you might have understood this lesson. So start reading the textbook completely from starting onwards. From the 5th lesson starting onwards, start reading the textbook. You will understand more about. So if you have understood clearly, start filling these blanks by your own. This is your homework today, children. Okay. See you in the next class, children. Bye. Have a nice day.